Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Ice Project. Today we're going to be doing inside YKTR, behind the scenes of everything that's sort of happening in and around YKTR. So yeah, roll the intro.
Welcome to the Ice Project. Welcome to the Ice Project.
All right guys, inside YKTR, we've actually had to let some staff go, or we've mutually been agreed to sort of part ways as well. So probably first guy off the rank was Caleb. So Caleb was this, if you don't know Caleb, he was our videographer, super talented, very good at what he does as well. But I sort of felt like this sort of full-time environment wasn't for him as well. So we've got core values here at YKTR, and it's obviously my job to hold those values up, and we just weren't sort of buying into them. And the thing with Caleb, it's because he was so creative and so good at what he does. I kind of let so many other things slide, and I was enabling certain types of behavior. And at the core essence of it, he's only 18, so he's still trying to figure out his place in the world. YKTR was his first job. Like I remember when he first came into YKTR, he's just like, he was scared to talk to anyone. He used to get like really nervous. I remember when he first come through, his favorite guy was Kalen Ponga. So I remember like ringing Kalen and going, "Hey bro, there's this guy who looks up to you. Can you follow him?" And Kalen followed him, and like Caleb started crying. So like that's just the type of kid he is. Really nice kid at heart. Just really needs to figure out his place. So if you listen to this last episode, it wasn't quite working out with Caleb, and we sort of going, I just sort of sent, "Oh, hey bro, like go out for 6 months, go be a freelancer. If it doesn't work out, I'll hold you a job back here." That just kind of hasn't worked out as well. And saying that, like I was enabling certain type of behavior and sort of our communication sort of breakdown. So I had to make a cut there as well. So I hope Caleb is going to kill it. He's a super creative kid. He's probably, he said he's making more money now than he was at YKTR, so never going to stand in the way of anyone trying to grow. And saying that, potentially looking for a new videographer as well. I'm not too sure. I don't think vlogs have the same amount of effect as they do as what they did in the past. I know vlog has been a big part of everything that we've done, moving or growing YKTR. But like in terms of YouTube, like stuff wasn't growing and we weren't getting subscribers. And yeah, I think maybe we're focusing on the wrong platforms. Maybe YouTube's not dead. It's still good to have because it's a good video resource, but maybe we should be putting our effort into different areas as well. So biggest lesson I learned from Caleb as well, it's not bad to give a kid a chance. He was really good at what he does, but sometimes I think my personal lesson from Caleb was not to try and get too emotionally invested into his personal life as well. And same with Simi as well, to be honest. Like I used to get so involved with their personal lives, I'd always try and solve things for them as well. And you just got to realize not everyone's going to work at YKTR forever. They may just set as a position to pick up some skills and get some leverage, and potentially that could lead you into some more work as well, which I'm not mad against. I think that's the right way to do it. Like we were paying Caleb a full-time wage to produce some really cool content for us. And by doing that, he's been able to create some job opportunities outside as a freelancer as well. And by all accounts, he said he's killing it and making more money. So shout out to Caleb. Go follow his journey. He could probably end up being an influencer, or I don't know, living in Hawaii and jumping out of planes. He's probably one of those types of kids as well. And probably being in an office environment where you got to follow rules and punctuality and rocking up on time, like that stuff's important to me. I was just letting that stuff slide too much. If you let it slide, it starts to affect the office as well, because he was getting away with a lot more than the standards I'd hold him to were nowhere near the standards I'd hold Lukey to as well. So that's just not fair for the whole office. So we mutually parted ways, and yeah, hope he kills it. Simi. If you know Simi, he's a great character to have, but we sort of had to have the conversation with Simi as well, where like it just wasn't working in terms of he felt like he should be on full-time wage. I just didn't feel like we were getting what we needed from him to even justify putting him onto full-time wage. So we've moved him from part-time and talent purely just to talent, and there's a contract in place, and he's still going to be on Grouse in a few reds. We're still going to see him in content with us, but I just sort of felt like there was no growth over the course of a year. There was no, one of our core philosophies at YKTR is Kaizen. So Kaizen is the Japanese philosophy on the art of continuous improvement, and I just sort of didn't feel like there was any improvement in terms of like work ethic, in terms of effort into marketing, in terms of to trying to make Grouse in a few reds show better. We gave him a few different opportunities, like community manager of Doozy Club, sales manager for different things. It just wasn't working. So we had the conversation, and to be fair, he took it really well. I was expecting a bit of a backlash and a back and forth, but it's been actually really good. So Simi's still here. He's purely talent. His job is to create the best content possible. He's got KPIs. He's got targets that he needs to hit, which he's always been chasing anyway. Probably my fault for not giving those to him. But yeah, so he's still going to be there. I still said there's some growth patterns or growth paths for him underneath YKTR. But like same as Simi, like Caleb, like when Simi come in, he was just one of our friends. I think he had like 3,500, 4,000 followers. He's got 30,000 followers now. He's classed as a professional boxer. He's got a pretty good he's got a good podcast and grousing a few reds, and he's got so much opportunity in terms of like being like an influencer. Dayton, really successful influencer as well. So I kind of see Simi being that type of person, like an influencer working on his art, but doing a podcast underneath YKTR as well. So yeah, it just same with Caleb. It just wasn't working in the office environment for them as well, and very much like Simi got away with a lot more than anyone else in this office. Caleb got away with the most, and then Simi was probably the second most. No, other way around. Simi gets away with the most, and then Caleb was the other guy that used to get away with the most. And like I said, it's just not fair for the locker room. And I could just feel us like getting frustrated in the environment, and it started to get like bickering, and like we got 6 grown men upstairs, and it was starting to get like bickery and narky, and I was starting to hear stuff behind my back and all that sort of stuff like that. So just had to make a change. No bad blood. Caleb's going to go on and kill it and probably be an influencer and jumping out of helicopters and making cool content. He's got plenty of work lined up. He's doing some random stuff as well, which I won't mention on this. And Simi's always going to be all right. What I said to Simi was, you just need to pick something. You just need to focus on something for a certain amount of time and put all your effort into it. Don't get sidetracked. Mace. Willie Mason was part of YKTR Sports. He jumped on, he agreed to do it. The weekly show, which actually made our show 10 times better. Got to remove myself from it, put someone else better in. But he actually had to pull out as well because all the takes he was giving us, he was doing that on his own podcast called The Takes with Willie Mason. So, yeah, that was really, I was a little bit gutted, to be honest, because obviously if you told me YKTR Sports is going to have Willie Mason as one of your lead anchors for the show 2 years ago, I would have been pumped. So hasn't quite worked out. I haven't given up on Mace as well or his show. So trying to work out something there as well. There hasn't been any communication lines, but yeah, we've got a show planned out for him, myself, and Scope a little bit later. So looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, I just love Mace because he's done it all in the game. He's not afraid to say what he's thinking. He's a little bit polarizing, and to be fair, he's not too far from the truth most times as well, and he's entertaining to watch. So not done with Mace yet. We'll try and do some more future work with him. I think he's going to be a part of YKTR Sports. I think with Mace, he's always just going to do what he wants to do as well, and you can't, like, I'm not going to be there trying to tell him what to do because he'll tell me to fuck off. Nah, great dude. Going to see him around a little bit more. End of the BSC deal. So this has been like a weird time over the past month is where we've kind of like, we've got rid of old websites. I'll talk about that very soon. Got rid of some of the staff, some of the sponsor deals coming to the end of agreement. It just feels like a fresh start for us as well. So the BSC, they were the content sponsor for our podcast studio. So whenever we used to talk, we used to go, welcome to the BSC content studio. That partnership's end. No bad blood there. Love Pico, love Greg. Thank you for giving us a chance. You guys are fucking legends. But they're just going through a transition phase right now, and they couldn't renegotiate a deal till a little bit later. So we shook hands and parted ways, and it was a great experience to go through as well. They were sort of the first people to sort of believe in us at YKTR Sports. But yeah, it is what it is. It's part of the game, and we understand that as well. New sponsor, potentially looking at it, talking to a couple people about it, but not too sure if we're going to proceed that way as well. I think we're a big enough brand to sort of hold ourselves on our own. We've got a few projects that we're working on that eventually I want it to be the name of so it's called my new brand podcast studio as well, which will drive traffic to it. That's always sort of been the goal. But yeah, naming studio rights done. New website, launched a new website last week, and it's fucking sick. I love it. Small details about color swatches, about sizing, about detailing, in terms of coding and all the back end stuff. It was roughly like a 70-80K build. Took us about 3-4 months to build it. I didn't build it, but we paid someone to build it, but it's clean. And the best part of it, and you'll probably guys hear about this soon, is the Doozy Club 2.0. So what I'm looking forward to about the Doozy Club is actually providing a membership program that's a level up from what we've done in the past. And we've got this rock solid fan base that love us, But the new inclusions that helps with the coding, free shipping all the time. So if you buy one piece of YKTR, you're going to be saving money. Exclusive content. So I've moved Jackson. He no longer has to look after Grouse and a few Reds. He's going to spend a lot more time as the community manager for the Doozy Club. So his job's to provide extra content for you guys weekly. We've got 10 and a Ken in there at the moment. I'm going to bring back Shape, which was a show that we couldn't post on YouTube purely for copyright reasons. NRL used to always seem to pull it down for a reason. So that's going to go behind there, and some extra access stuff. Like I used to do these vlogs back in the day where I used to show samples and process of that. I'm going to build that back into the Doozy Club exclusive content, and not to mention free shipping, 10% off, and it's all just going to be hosted onto one website as well. Going to be giving away free YKTR clothes again for a year, monthly giveaways, and Scope's starting to plan out the events for the next couple months as well. So ones like Derby Day, we might be going down to Derby Day in Melbourne. And we're just going to bring some Doozy Club members along with us as well. So Doozy Club 2.0 coming, website sorted, activewear coming along as well. She knows, people keep asking about this. I'll build that out next year. One thing I've learned about the past 2 months, and if you're in business, and even if guys are your friends or they promise the world, write everything in a fucking contract and make it nice and clear. And these are your KPIs. If we want to renegotiate an upgrade or downgrade or part-time or whatever you want to do, here's the date. So this past couple of months has just kind of been like a big kind of spring clean of getting rid of things that weren't working and stripping it back to a solid foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation, good luck fucking scaling, because as soon as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, shit's just going to fall down. So that's what's happening there. Also, back traveling soon. Oh, collabs, sorry. Got a couple collabs lined up. We're definitely going to be doing one with G'd Up. We've had the conversation with them. This is going to be cool. This is something that I don't feel like it's been done before. It's not what you think it's going to be. Like the easy thing is just to do cross collab clothes, and us and G'd Up have always seemed like that obvious. So we kind of wanted to think outside the box, but I've reached out to Paco and their team there. We've got meetings coming up about how we're going to position this collab. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So hold tight for that. It's going to be a little bit different than what you'd normally see. But yeah, I'm actually fucking looking forward to that one as well. Back traveling soon. I'll be in Europe on Sunday, flying to Europe on Sunday. Going to be away for 3 weeks. Traveling was a big part of why I started YKTR. I was in Bali. And it's funny, I was actually in Bali with Scope, and there was a guy, so we're at Singlefins, and Scope's like, oh, my mate runs this place, he's going to get us a table. Cool. Boom, rock up to Singlefin, watching the sun go down, having a few drinks, and he introduced me to his mate, and his name's Ty Buddha. And if you know Bali, you probably know Ty. And like this dude comes out, he's, hey bro, Ty, nice to meet you. Moldy dude. So I sort of looked at him, I was like, fuck, you're cool. And I go, what does he do? He goes like, oh, he's a big wave surfer, just runs businesses around Bali, had a hot missus, obviously like married and got kids and stuff now. But I remember just looking at him and going, fuck, you're cool. And it was my first part where I'm like, I'm kind of over football. I want to be living in Bali. I want to be the ability to travel whenever I want. And sort of the next day, we went to a business meeting with him, and I didn't really know I was into business then, but he goes, all right, boys, I'll pick you up. Let's go to Ginger. I've got a meeting with some guys from Jakarta. We're about to build a new nightclub. We're just going to see if it works. So I remember rocking up to these like private meetings and just drinking vodka straight. I remember I was just so influenced by that trip for so many reasons. It like literally changed my life. It changed the path of my life. Obviously, I've worked fucking hard to get to this point, but just seeing someone that kind of looked like you, like a moldy dude that was running multiple businesses. He runs like the lawn and stuff like that. He's a big wave surfer, dating glamours. Like, it's funny how these people can influence you with something like that. And that's not small, but it was a big part. Shout out Ty, really good dude as well. All right, that's inside YKTR. Back traveling, letting staff go, end of deals and new beginnings. Exciting times. Later days.